I understand, Congressman Arrington, that you are introducing a resolution now to declare war on the drug cartels. How will that work?
Well, it's laid out very clearly and expressly written into the Constitution. First of all, let's take the preamble. The federal government's first and most important job is to provide for the common defense and domestic tranquility. Not happening, chaos, disaster, crisis at the border. Next, you have a president who swears an oath to faithfully execute the laws of the land. That's Article 2. Not happening. No apprehension, no detention, catch and release, no notice to appear. Not enforcing the laws of the land. And then you have Article 4 that says that the government will provide the sovereign states a republic and protect them against invasions. That's not happening. And that's why you have Article 1, Section 10 that says when the federal government has failed to do its job to defend the border, protect its citizens, then it is the sovereign power and right inherently of the states to defend itself and their citizens. And I got to tell you, Harris, because of the paramilitary sophistication of the network of cartels who are totally in control of the border and of the influx of criminality, it is absolutely an invasion and a threat like we've never seen to the safety and security of our citizens in Texas and throughout the border. And I believe they have every constitutionally protected right to defend themselves on account of the factors that I just articulated.
So I'm wondering how the federal government isn't going to get involved in, because I don't know if you heard just moments ago, I mean, Border Patrol, law enforcement down on the border right now they're overwhelmed. They're outnumbered, as I like to say. I mean, they need the feds' help. They're asking for feds' help. And now there is a need, as you say, to fight back on these very sophisticated militaristic drug cartels. Do you think you'll get that kind of help at the border to fight them off?
Well, I think Texans and other border states are doing everything they can with the restrictions they have jurisdictionally. That is, we're spending billions of dollars in Texas just to come alongside of Border Patrol agents and ICE agents, but we're deferring to a very defunct set of federal law enforcement because they've been hamstrung by the Biden administration. So there's effectively lawlessness and chaos. And Texas, the only way border states can step up and fill that gap is by exercising that sovereign right and power. Again, very expressly written in the Constitution. And I think we're way beyond that threshold. And it's driven by the failure of the federal government, number one, and it's empowered by the cartels on the other side of the border, and why you're seeing the exponential increase in drugs, human smuggling, and other criminal elements.
Congressman Arrington, some might look at this and say, well, a resolution, it might not have teeth. But when you mention other states, are you saying that they're jumping on to, might you have a coalition now to make the case for war on drug cartels? It's on.
Let me tell you, we are affirming this at the federal level, that this is in fact the constitutional right and power of these sovereign states. That's what we're doing, affirming it. But I have leaders in the state of Texas. My colleague, for example, Senator Charles Perry out of Lubbock, Texas, which is in my district, who has filed legislation that I believe will be taken up in August. And I believe you'll see others do accordingly and begin the debate. And in fact, I think ultimately exercise this right, take matters in their hands, defend their citizens, and do the job the federal government has failed to do. And come what may, because you might get an injunction, might go through the courts, probably will, may go all the way to the Supreme Court. But I think all the legitimate rights are there for these states to.
Maria Ocasio-Cortez has some ideas for the rising violent crime plaguing American cities. The progressive Democrat suggesting we should put fewer people behind bars. Thursday, watch.
If we want to reduce violent crime, if we want to reduce the number of people in our jails, the answer is to stop building more of them. The answer is to make sure that we actually build more hospitals, we pay organizers, we get people mental health care and overall health care, employment, etc. It's to support communities, not throw them away.
So now Jason Chaffetz, former Republican congressman out of Utah, Fox News contributor. Jason, how you doing? Go ahead and react to that idea. Fewer jails, lower crime. Does that equate?
It's not working. What she's suggesting is dangerous. It's irresponsible. Incarceration is supposed to be a deterrent as well as a consequence. I do agree that we need more money and more analysis for those that are suffering from mental health. But those involved and engaged in gun crimes and violent crimes, they need to be incarcerated. And they need to not just be bailing people out of jail as they have advocated. Like, it was just a year ago that Kamala Harris was literally raising money to bail people out as fast as they could to get them back out onto the streets, as opposed to go through the normal adjudication process and bail and having bail. So Democrats have had the House, the Senate, and the presidency federally. In New York, where she's from, they have the assembly, they have the governorship, they have the mayors. Democrats are in charge. And the violent crime that's going on in these cities is just skyrocketing. We're already doing what she wants to do.
13 people shot across New York City's 5 boroughs over Memorial Weekend. Remember, this is the town that said we're going to take that unit that works undercover to remove guns from the streets and dismantle it. They took that unit apart, Jason.
Yeah, they had nearly 500 officers throughout the city that were working undercover to prevent crime and to work within the community and to be there to do the investigations before the crimes actually happen. And they dismantled that. They're pulling police officers out of schools and places where kids just want to be able to get educated in a safe environment. What they're advocating is lawlessness. And I tell you, it is one of the biggest differences going into 2022 into the election is the approach on law and order, because these cities that are seeing this rapid rise in crime, these are all run by Democrats.
Well, it bleeds over in the politics. You make a very interesting point there. This whole idea about bail, the New York police commissioner said that's a big problem. You know, all these incidents we see captured on video, these are from repeat offenders. They get arrested, they go to the clink, they're out the next day. On and on and on it goes with multiple arrests, like the woman right here who was cold-cocked in Lower Manhattan. Here's the major city with spikes. New York City's up 22%. Chicago up 22%. Atlanta 50%. Minneapolis 113%. And Portland a whopper at 800%. On the politics matter into 22, how do you see that playing out?
I think that one of the major differences is the approach on law and order. There have to be consequences for these types of actions. What I see the Democrats doing is advocating to put new gun laws in place against law-abiding citizens. I don't see them actually making sure that people like the guy we're just watching the video of is a repeat offender, allegedly, that person is actually incarcerated. How many times do we see these reports where the person who's allegedly committing the crime has already done it 24 times before? That you got to take these people off the street. There is too much violence in America, but there has to be a consequence, not just coddling them, that what AOC and the others want to do, and just patting them on the back saying, you know, let's talk this through. That's not going to work for a lot of people.
Thank you, Jason. Jason Chaffetz, more to come on that. Nice to see you.